And it is just narcissistic. It's scary.
I think people are afraid. I think the youth are really afraid. They don't know what to think, and that is why I think that the grown-ups, there are a few of us here, have to be very, very patient, very, very cautious, and very careful about how we encounter each other. There has to be a return to respect. Without a return to respect, we have no hope.
Oh, I agree, and that's where I get into the respect for life, wherever it is, whether it be human, plant, animal. Because, again, they sell to save the earth being anti-human, but then the people doing that aren't even trying to help the earth. They're trying to override it. So, again, they use our good feelings, our goodwill, and then repackage it and redirect it and twist it in like a bizarre satanic judo move. I don't know how you counter stuff this sophisticated without really just changing your whole worldview and almost clicking. It's a clicking.
I know. It's very challenging, and television probably should be the first to go.
There you go.
Because it is so constant, and because many children are programmed, from the womb, really. And I feel for them. They are born into an imprisonment of consciousness, a kind of consciousness that's, unconscious.
In closing, you've, in about a minute and a half, other points you'd like to make.
Well, I just want to say that people have to, bear up and stand and be sure that they understand that people make images of others for us to destroy, and those images often have very little to do with the real people. So it calls for patience, and it calls for kindness, and it calls for compassion. And I would say, look into some of the writings of the Dalai Lama, some of the writings of Mandela, some of the poetry of Neruda. There are all kinds of teachers out there, and just don't be afraid to look into them, even if you feel right away that you wouldn't agree. I mean, who knows? You might agree with just one sentence, and that one sentence could feed you for the rest of your life.
Well, the establishment doesn't want us to do wide-spectrum research and analysis of things because that gives you a general knowledge, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, well, my faith in humanity is very strong, and it's partly because I know that we want to survive. That is part of our nature. And so I think that if with that feeling of wanting to survive, we are capable of getting ourselves out of the doldrums of this horrible miasmic nightmare and looking around us and, doing a lot better than we've done.
Well, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Color Purple and so many other best-selling books, Alice Walker, has been with us. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for communicating with us. We appreciate it, and it's certainly been stimulating. AliceWalkersGarden.com. And I'd love to have you back on again to talk about your important investigation in Australia.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much. Guys, thank her again off air for me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was a powerful interview, David Knight. We'll come back in the next segment and comment on it, but she's absolutely right. They don't want us to communicate to each other, and it takes her a lot of courage to do what she's done. As you can tell, she's growing. We're all growing, and, we reach out to her. She reaches out to us, and that's what this is all about.
That's right. And she mentioned it's a lack of empathy. It's so many of the problems that we have. When I look at the war on drugs, I look at what they did to the 17-year-old.
That's my issue with Gloria Steinem.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, if we could get people to see the results of what's happening with this, down the road, that's what I see happening, with this whole war on drugs, and just as I was talking about earlier, the 17-year-old where they take the guy down and they kill him with a metal object down his throat because they think he might have swallowed his drugs. I mean,
yeah, that new video. I mean, this is happening in America.
Yeah, that's what they're doing to. That's a metaphor for what they're doing to all of America, essentially. What they did to that kid, killing him to get the drugs out of his system. That's what they're. That's how all of this stuff started. That's now metastasized.
And they say, "Thank you for your compliance." But the cops are complying. The teachers, we're all complying with incremental destruction.
Yes.
Look, killing somebody to try to find drugs. That every cop I talk to knows the big banks launder the money and don't get in trouble.
That's right.
I mean, I can interview CIA flight guys like Tosh Plumley, certified in Congress. He shipped in 40 tons himself.
Yeah.
with Barry Seal.
That's right. So they're running it at the same time and creating the crack cocaine problem in L.A. to fund their war against the Contras at the same time that Reagan is doing the zero tolerance, mandatory minimums, filling up the prisons with people. And that's all, as she points out, it's a lack of empathy, you know, and that's where somebody like her has a real opportunity to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I would never ship heroin or cocaine in knowing it would ruin lives.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money I got. And other people go, hey, man, sell out. No.
Yeah.
I will not sell my family out. You know, briefly, folks, this is a very expensive operation to run. We hardly plug things here. It's our sponsors that make it possible. Plus, we only bring in the best sponsors like MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. High-quality storable foods, great customer service, and a lot of other great preparedness items. 866-229-0927 to get a free brochure. Talk to them, or MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. If you don't have storable food, you're crazy. And if you don't try Super Male Vitality, the Great Fluoride Shield, the Survival Shield, the Lung Cleanse, the Great Coffee, everything at InfoWarsLife.com, you're missing out on the hottest, most powerful supplements out there. I mean, I'm bringing you the most hardcore stuff there is at the best prices, and you're funding the tip of the spear in free speech. So InfoWarsLife.com. I want to thank you all for your support. More comments on Alice Walker coming up.
Hello.
Look, the globalists want to keep the controlled left in their box. She's a lady starting to transcend that, and she's getting it's not male against female, you know, as she thought 50 years ago. It is psychopaths, you can say, in their own words, don't see themselves as human, building grids and systems of control to feed on humanity. And this plastic or fake, inorganic, nanotech, GMO system that's coming out is designed to change the world and to end it as we know. So it is alien. Even if aliens don't exist out in space, the globalists are making things that are alien of this world. You know, a jellyfish that's injected into a monkey to make it glow in the dark.
Well, even alien DNA, they started out. Synthetic DNA.
Exactly.
Because they want to be able to copyright it.
Exactly. So it's all about total ownership of life. That means being God.
Mm-hmm.
And the threats are so big, so over the top. I mean, are we safe with a government that would secretly inject black people with syphilis? Folks, they're not just doing it to black people. They just had free reign with them.
Yeah.
They sneak around a little more with everybody else. Now they're doing it to everybody.
Yeah.
Because the truth is there is no everybody. We are all humans. And whatever it is running this, the devil, the Easter Bunny, whatever, it's there, it's doing this. And I'm being sarcastic, folks. And, you know, you heard her because I knew she was friends with Gloria Steinem. That's why I said that. Not to be mean. Gloria Steinem's CIA. Not to empower women, but to get them on a new plantation. And look at the fruits of it. Look at the fruits of the CIA and the black community. And Gloria Steinem may have changed her ways down the years, but, you know, again, it's people like Gloria Steinem, in my view, that are controlling and manipulating via friendship, people that are smart, but I guarantee you, Alice Walker, deep down, next time she's with Gloria Steinem, I think they should go on a vacation together and hang out in a cabin together. And you ought to really interrogate her, Alice. Let me tell you, I can look in Steinem's eyes, and I see Predator big time. David Knight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, I have certainly changed in my lifetime because when I was a kid, I was all about nuclear power. I mean, I wanted to be a nuclear engineer. And now you look at what's going on with Fukushima. They just had, for the first time, one of the workers there has filed suit. And he's ashamed to give his name because in Japan, you just don't do that. You don't stand up against the system.
And if you don't, they'll just use you. They'll just use you.
That's right. But
they don't have an honorable system. They've got to stand up against it.
But we've seen this is technology that's a couple of things you see there. Number one, technology out of control. How do you get this genie back in the box? How do you control this? And we have literally nuclear time bombs across the world, especially across this country.
430 of them.
Exactly. Ready to go off. And it isn't just a reactor failure. It's also the spent fuel pools that you have to constantly maintain.
And it will increase cancer rates.
Yeah.
Chernobyl killed over 1 million people.
So now, but we still have that problem, that intractable problem, and now we're adding to it genetic modification. We're adding alien DNA. We don't know where that's going to go. We're adding they're trying to push this singularity on people. I mean, she does have an important voice to say.
Well, I think she deep down is getting it.
Exactly.
This is bigger than men and women fight with each other black, white.
Yes, yes.
You know, this is an override of everything, and it's poisonous. It's not like some new thing that's great.
Yeah, right.
It's not like aliens showed up and gave us something great. No, these are bad aliens.
Right.
And again, I don't really believe it's aliens, but I'm using the allegory because it might as well be. You got psychopaths creating new DNA they call alien DNA.
Yeah.
They're poisoning all of us. We're getting cancer.
Yeah.
These people are aliens.
Yeah.
David Rockefeller, the Rothschilds, Bill Clinton, Obama, these are space aliens.
And it's this kind of sick fascination with it, like you saw in the movie Aliens, where they wanted to preserve the creature because the Defense Department wanted his DNA. That's what you see these people doing with the...
Yeah, it's a bunch of scum, folks. I want to come back and hit a few final points in Overdrive in the Nightly News tonight. I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central, live. The Sunday transmission, spread the word, live, 4 to 6 Central. Infowars.com. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast.